Welcome to the Tigers Sports Network presented by Natural State Sports. We're live here from the Don Briggs Hurricane Gymnasium on the campus of Jonesboro High School in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I'm Chris Gay, your play-by-play commentator. This is Will Stafford, your color analyst. And Will, this is a battle between the two teams who have all of the state championships since 2020.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely insane to think about. You know, you have Central, who won just last year, and then you have Jonesboro, who won from 2021 through 2023, and then Central won back, I believe, in 2020.
Yep, exactly.
So these are the powerhouses of 6A nowadays, right? And Jonesboro, a three-peat ain't nothing to joke about, right?
No.
So, and we already are hearing a lot of talk from student sections and things like that. This is going to be a very, very fun, energetic game. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
And this is a Jonesboro team that looks like they could go back to that game. They're 10-1 in conference play, 25-3 overall. Their lone conference loss was to Bryant, who is another 6A title contender. As we are about ready for the starting lineup for your Little Rock Central Tigers. Of course, this is the regular season finale. Okay, we're going to have the national anthem before we have the starting lineup, so stay tuned. Here is the national anthem. And that was the live rendition of the national anthems, or excuse me, of the national anthem. And we're just about ready for the starting lineup, starting with your Little Rock Central Tigers. CJ King getting the start tonight, I believe his fourth straight start. Trey Stewart also going to start alongside Day Thomas. So we are going to see the twin big starting lineup again tonight. Of course, Luke Moore, the lone senior on this roster, getting another start along with Clay Blair. Of course, Luke Moore flirted with a triple-double on Tuesday. Would love to see him get back to that. And here is the starting lineup for the Jonesboro Hurricane.
And now, the senior starting lineup for the Jonesboro Hurricane.
Starting is the senior guard, Adam Rutherford, who went to go celebrate with the student section first. Maybe that's a tradition, I don't know. Then Kellen Smith, senior guard, doing the exact same thing. DJ Johnson, the 6'5" senior guard, also getting the start tonight alongside Luke Baltz, the senior forward. And the number 4, Carlos Larry Jr., who is committed to go play basketball at at Northwestern State University in Louisiana. And look for him to have another big night. He continuously has those so far this season. And this should be a fantastic basketball game. It is an electric atmosphere here at the Don Briggs Gymnasium. And both teams have locked a spot into the playoffs right now. Central's coming into this matchup 6-5 on the year, but they could really use a win in the season finale to take some momentum into the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Jonesboro team is not untouchable. We saw Southwest just this week have a very good game against Jonesboro. I mean, Bryant has already beat this Jonesboro team. They are not untouchable, and I think Central has a very real chance, especially at the form they're in right now.
Yeah, they lost by 18.
Especially when Day Thomas is doing that.
Exactly. Day Thomas has been playing really well the last few games, but they lost by 18 to Bryant. And then not long after, they lost to an out-of-state non-conference team in Whitehaven. Thomas misses the runner. Larry crosses over. Baltz in the corner. Back to Larry. Pump fake, looking to drive. Met Thomas, and good defense again.
Very good defense. Stayed directly up and down. Never swatted down his arms. Perfect defense from Day Thomas.
More contested too. What a shot for the first basket of the ball game. Rutherford's going to step back. Up top is Smith.
And I have a feeling that Luke Moore might feed off this energy, off this crowd. There's been a lot of talking between, Central has not spoken to the students in the student section.
Oh, and Moore should have taken it up. He was going for the pass to Blair as Rutherford kicks to Baltz in the corner. He can't capitalize. They can't follow. Up again, and headed to the free throw line is DJ Johnson.
And I really think, honestly, Luke Moore probably could have gone up with that himself and probably made the shot, but I understand the idea. Maybe a little too flashy for maybe this early in the game, but I totally get it out of Luke Moore.
Luke Moore recently just committed to the University of Central Arkansas back on Tuesday, just hours before senior night activities. And he leaves behind a storied legacy at Central High School, a 4-year starter, 4-time all-conference performer, well over, I think they said 1,300 points this season, and pretty close to, I think Coach Lewis said close to 300 career steals and maybe close to 500 career assists or rebounds. Just some ridiculous numbers in his high school career. And of course, he is not finished yet. Thomas looking to drive, takes it himself, barrels his way inside. Stewart going up and one. Trey Stewart.
And Trey Stewart has been, can you call him a spark plug? He's not coming off the bench anymore. He's starting basically every game. But my goodness, is he playing out of his mind as of late as he converts the and one. He has been perfect on defense, if you can really say, and you can't say that about a lot of people, but his offense as well has been absolutely incredible. He's not a high scorer, but he's a very good passer.
Well, this is a team that's had a lot of problems with injuries and illness, as Larry's going to take the three, misses. That's going to be a foul. That's got to be a foul. It won't be. All right, there is a foul. Who's it going to be? Oh, my goodness. They're going to give C.J. King a foul. Everybody.
And actually, it's been a minute since we've seen Coach Shelby Lewis say anything to a ref.
Well, DJ Johnson just fell over everybody. He said C.J. King pulled him down. I don't think that's what happened. And it definitely looked like DJ Johnson went out of bounds. So just
very weird possession there.
Yeah, you know, you're not always going to get the calls when you're playing at the opponent's house. As Johnson's going to dial up a triple and makes it. First field goal of the ball game for the Hurricane, and they're down by just one. Thomas up top. Blair with Baltz on him. He's going to take the three. Won't get it to fall. Thomas fighting for it. Ends up in Baltz's hand.
And something that's been very good for Jonesboro all year is their defense. They are very, very aggressive around the three-point line. So you're not going to see a lot of open shots like you see for Central a lot of the time. So it's going to probably come down to if Luke Moore can make his own space, which we have seen him do before, and if they can get Clay Blair open in the corner or the wing. That's going to be, if they want any threes at all, that's going to be their recipes for success.
Luke Moore looking to drive. Stewart shovels to Blair, who'll take the contested three. Got it that time. 3 points, 1 of 2 shooting from outside for Clay Blair.
And he really wasn't even that open, but he still hit the shot.
Blair up ahead to Moore, takes on the contact. It was last touch by Jonesboro. Of course, Central gets it right back. Larry takes a tumble. Blair gets his own miss, and Thomas scores somehow. Central kept the basketball alive. 4-point lead.
Day Thomas is playing some very good basketball right now.
Johnson guarded by Thomas. Up top it's Rutherford. Baltz, three on the way. That looks good from here. Not quite, though. Not even on the extra bounce.
And if you're Central, you cannot slow down at all. Do not take your foot off the gas. And if Clay Blair hits that, it's going to prove.
Blair no good. It's a 1-on-3 fast break. Rutherford will take it himself. Probably should have waited for a teammate. Stewart's got it, pushes it ahead. Now it's a 2-on-1 fast break. Blair will pull it back. It's King on the wing. He's going to take the three.
Whoa, C.J. King
with the three.
I think he is feeding off that energy from the student section. I watched him. That is the most he's celebrated in a long time.
He's pretty calm and collected more often than not. That was one confident shot. Hadn't seen him shoot that confidently all season long.
And you can kind of see Jonesboro is in unknown territory here. They're down 13-4 very early in the game. They slowed down their offense, which is not something they do often.
Moore looking to drive, taking it himself inside to Stewart.
Wow.
What a setup! He can't make it, and now he's fouled, and he'll head to the free throw line. What a pass from Luke Moore. I think if Stewart had a couple more inches, he's throwing that one down, but it was a beautiful setup, and now Stewart has to earn the 2 points at the line.
And I do think that we're going to see this starting lineup for most of this first half, if I were to imagine. They are clicking on every level. 13-4, they're hitting shots. Their defense is immaculate. Now, of course, Jonesboro's missing a few shots here and there, but Central's able to respond so far.
B.J. Knowlton checked into the ball game for Jonesboro. So Stewart split a pair, and now it's a double-digit point lead for Central. Knowlton up top. This is a guy that can get going offensively. Has had 20 multiple times this season, including games against Marion and Westside. Up top, it's Kellen Smith, guarded by Blair. He's looking to pull up. He's actually going to pull up from mid-range. Off the glass is good. Bank is open for Kellen Smith.
Very good shot, honestly. I mean, he knew he had a little bit of a mismatch with Clay Blair. They are close to the same height, but Clay Blair just a tad smaller. Is able to get that shot over the top of Clay Blair's extended arms.
Stewart looking to drive and draws the blocking foul from Larry. Pretty confident drive by Trey Stewart. You know, maybe a month ago, he's not making that move. Of course, a month ago against this team, he didn't even record a statistic.
Yeah.
He played, just didn't do anything. And so far, he's got 2 points now and playing pretty aggressively. As into the ball game for the first time is number 23, Myrion Taylor. And
Trey Stewart is actually leading scorer right now at 5 points before this next free throw.
All right, there you go, Trey Stewart. Also into the ball game for the first time, number 22, Leighton Weaver. There you go. So 6 points for Trey Stewart now. As Gavin Holman will be the first player to come into the ball game off the bench for Central. Rutherford bringing it up the floor. Taylor to Knowlton. Baltz to Weaver. 3 on the way. No good. Knowlton with the rebound. Baltz, he's a shooter too, but he can't find the bottom of the bucket. King to Moore. Blair to Thomas. I would look to get the ball back to Clay Blair. I think he's about ready to heat up. He's already made 1 3 in 3 attempts. King has it.
Plenty of time on the shot clock.
Exactly. You have a ton of time. 13 seconds to be exact. Thomas, and that's going to be an offensive foul drawn by Myrion Taylor, who just recently, about a month ago, committed to Ouachita Baptist University for football, as he is a fantastic football player. Been all conference multiple times, plays both ways, tight end, and some defensive line, I do believe. Knowlton lost it off his leg for a second. Still a 10-point Central lead. It's Rutherford looking to drive, floater in the lane, off the front of the rim. Taylor, rebound, can't finish. Moore with the rebound. 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Holman to Blair. Holman, 12 working on 12. Steps through, can't finish. Baltz to Weaver. Cross court to Knowlton. 3 on the way is good. B.J. Knowlton has his crowd wide awake.
Luke Moore's probably going to get this final shot.
3 seconds now. And he sure will get, well, maybe not enough fouls yet. Only now just the 4th team foul by Jonesboro. 1.8 on the clock. Have to get a quick shot off here. Look at number 32, guarded by Rutherford.
Or number 35.
That's exactly who has it. He didn't know what the time was at before and had to throw up the shot. So that will do it for the first quarter of action. 16-9 is your score, with your Tigers on top early in enemy territory. Stick around for more Tiger basketball action here on the Tigers Sports Network.
Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
Second quarter of play, just about ready to go. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Chris Gay. This is Will Stafford on color, and Will, 16-9 is the score early against the #1 team in the 6A classification. What have you seen so far from this Tiger team?
I've seen a lot of feeding off Luke Moore. Now, Luke Moore has only scored once, right? And that was a very, very tough shot. It was the very first shot of the game to go in for Central. But a lot of it is feeding off of Luke Moore's energy, and a lot of it is feeding off this crowd's energy. You can kind of see they're a little more energetic than they normally are, and we've kind of seen that in the past couple weeks anyway, but you can kind of see them. They know they're in enemy territory. They know how big of a game this can be, even with lockdown and playoffs. So you can kind of see, and as the game goes on, I think the energy will just continue to climb.
3 by Moore is no good. Taylor chases the board. Here's B.J. Knowlton. He's got 3 so far today. 3 in the corner, though, by Johnson, won't fall. Taylor crashes the glass, and we got a foul. And it's going to be on Gavin Holman. So Jacob Marshall and Trey Stewart check in. Thomas and, well, I say Thomas, it's going to be King and who else?
Gavin Holman.
Oh, Gavin Holman. Didn't even see him leave. They check out of the ball game. Knowlton up top, guarded by Stewart. In the corner is Larry. Screen from Johnson. Larry looking to Knowlton, guarded by Moore. Knowlton will shoot the 3 now. That one's off. Rebound by Thomas. Here's Clay Blair looking to drive. Kicking to Marshall. He probably should have shot that. Lost it briefly. He got it back. And nice pass to Moore, leading to an open Blair 3. Got it. Clay Blair, 6 points.
And it's a dangerous, dangerous game if Jonesboro is going to leave Clay Blair open. He might miss a couple, but he will start to heat up.
Back to a 10-point ball game as Luke Moore has the steal. 2-on-1 fast break. Blair to Marshall. Marshall into traffic, going to draw a foul.
I honestly like that pass from Clay Blair. He knew he had somebody trailing him, and he also knew that he did not have the height advantage there. He was actually very undersized for that layup, so giving it off to Jacob Marshall was very good.
Marshall doesn't get to the line that often, but buries the first. As C.J. Larry will check out of the ball game. Baltz and Kellen Smith check back in. Taylor will also check out. Second free throw up and good for the junior.
And Wes Swift on the Jonesboro sidelines, very animated at the calling right now.
Well, fouls aren't really going Jonesboro's way right now. Well, I say that as Trey Stewart's going to pick up one there. Leighton Weaver would check out. C.J. Larry checks right back in.
I'm really not surprised at this kind of bigger lineup that Coach Shelby Lewis is putting out, right? Jonesboro, you've already kind of seen it in the first quarter and the first couple minutes of this second quarter. This is a very good rebounding Jonesboro team.
And that's going to be Jacob Marshall, the central crowd.
Apparently, okay.
Well, Jacob Marshall uplifted, I believe it was Larry or no, it was Kellen Smith. And
it was not on Jacob Marshall for that.
It really shouldn't have been. He was boxing out. I think it was just an awkward position, but regardless, they're going to get Jacob Marshall with the foul. Here's Smith in the corner. I will say the central crowd has traveled well here tonight. We'll stay with Jonesboro.
And Trey Hope is in the game now.
Yeah, the freshman sensation, I want to say. He really hasn't played much this season, except with the last 2 or 3 games, and has really found some time on the floor, and he's played well, as Coach Lewis is going to take a timeout right now with 6:13 remaining in the second quarter. Central with the 21-9 lead.
I'm going to guess that this timeout is anything specific. I think this is going to be a big just, hey guys, breathe. I mean, there've been some, I'll say it bluntly, very questionable calls. So I think this is just a, hey, we're good. Let's just continue to play the way we need to.
Look at some of the highlights we're seeing so far. Of course, that first bucket by Luke Moore was the first bucket of the ball game. Clay Blair playing well, and you have that C.J. King three-pointer, no hesitation for the junior. Of course, Blair, he doesn't hesitate on any of his shots. He's got 2 triples so far in this first half, and 21-9 is the lead. In this quarter, they've only allowed, I think, 3 points from Jonesboro, so they have played some excellent defense. And what do you think the Canes need to do to kind of get going offensively?
Honestly, I'm not sure there's anything specific because you're seeing them get a lot of open shots. Things are just not falling right now, and I think that's going to change really fast. So I think if you're Central in this case, you need to be prepared for that. You need to be prepared for things to start falling, which means you need to take off down the court and respond every single time.
Larry up top, guarded by Moore, the 2 Division I commits going at each other. And can't get the tip in. Knowlton gets it back. Central playing some hard defense in the paint. Here's Marshall up top. Gets it to Thomas, guarded by Johnson. Moore with Johnson on him. And he's going to draw some contact. We'll go ahead.
I really do like this lineup that Central has out there. I mean, you can see how energetic on the boards that Jonesboro is. They have a lot of stamina in the paint. And so I think by keeping, by keeping at least Day Thomas in there and currently Trey Stewart, both of them are able to kind of clog up the paint for Jonesboro, which is not normal. And so I think that's going to be kind of the key, is to be able to get these defensive rebounds, because Jonesboro is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the 6A.
Also keep in mind, Trey Hope is 6'3". He's pretty long himself, can cause some problems on the defensive end. And what I was going to say was, with the exception of that North Little Rock game, at North Little Rock, this is probably one of the better student sections they've played in front of this season. They've been pretty loud, even though they're small. They are mighty. So there was a foul on the floor that was on Trey Hope. He was going for the ball. I thought he got it tied up.
He was trying to go for the jump ball, but couldn't get that.
Larry will throw in. Smith, catch and shoot jumper from the mid-range, won't fall. Moore ahead. Here's Trey Hope, and that pass just not quite on target.
And as I said, they're just not hitting shots right now, and you have to be prepared as Central. If they will start hitting shots at some point.
Hope spinning in the lane, can't finish. Stewart, offensive rebound, trying to go back up with it. There was a lot of contact underneath. Absolutely no call. Smith looking to drive, and they'll get that call. So in that first quarter, the fouls were more so going towards Central. Second quarter, different story.
Jacob Marshall with a second foul.
Of course, now it is the bonus. Jonesboro is in. 4:48 left to play in the first half. Some of the Central fans not happy at all with what they're seeing so far today. Of course, 22-9 is the score in favor of the Tigers as Clay Blair and C.J. King come into the ball game. Marshall and Hope check out. He can't get that free throw.
I call that ball don't lie. I'll say it.
King to Stewart. Moore, deep triple. Got it! Luke Moore, crowd silencer.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What happened?
Called a tech for celebrating. There's not been a single call for that call.
We'll see if we can find that replay to look at it one more time as Luke Baltz is going to shoot some free throws. Take a look at it more. I was outside of the camera frame, can't see it, but I guess it was on, yeah. Well, no, wait a second. They gave it to Day Thomas.
Oh. What is that about? Well, because the reason I assumed that it was Luke Moore was because it was the referee behind Luke Moore as he celebrated. So I'm not really sure who he was calling it on.
All right, so Day Thomas has 2 fouls here in the first half, so that is unfortunate. I might have to go back on the live stream myself and take a look. Of course, I want to see if that live chat's going. Here's Baltz into the ballgame for the first time is Jaquez Jordan. And that pass, not a great one, and Jordan collides with Trey Stewart, and he'll pick up the foul.
I guess going for the ball does not equal no foul, right? Is that how that works?
Got that one to go. Okay. We went back and reviewed that technical call on
He did the same thing Luke Moore did.
He did like a little silencer celebration, but the amount of people that do that that don't get teed up is pretty much everybody in the country. Moore with the steal now. He'll take the three.
Oh my God! Oh my God, Luke Moore.
In his veins. Luke Moore, no regard.
Luke Moore has been very vocal, which is not like him, right?
Smith somehow slicked his way through. Coach Lewis not happy with the no call.
Luke Moore's mom is up in arms just in front of us.
And what a pass inside, and it's going to be an offensive foul. That will be the first on Luke Moore.
No way. I'm gonna wait on that for just a second. I'm gonna make sure something happens. Yeah, I'm gonna wait on that.
Here's Baltz to Larry.
So
Smith in the corner. Larry guarded by Holman, who just checked in a moment ago. The senior against the sophomore. He's looking to set up his offense here. 8 seconds on the shot clock. They got to get going.
They're going to be forced.
It's going to be a deep three by Knowlton. Can't get it to fall. King to Blair. Guarded by Brown. Moore just going to calm everybody down for the moment. He's at the logo. He was looking to step back. Stewart inside. He might have gotten away with the travel, but Blair, a three, won't fall. King gets it back. Inside Blair, into contact. Stewart gets it. The offensive rebound by Central is fantastic. Moore. Double team now. Gets it to Stewart. Back to Moore. Holman, he'll take the three now. He got it!
Yes, sir, Gavin
Holman. First points of the ball game for the sophomore. And another Jonesboro turnover. Holman, and they're probably going to get him with the and one! Gavin Holman.
Chris, I can't help but celebrate right now, man. I can't. I just...
Game is long from over.
What I was going to say just a few minutes ago, we did see, after that charge call on Luke Moore, all of the student section started clapping at him, and Luke Moore turned around and pointed at the scoreboard and ran down with a fake phone to his ear. I'm just saying, we don't see Luke Moore do that often.
He was doing it a little bit in that last game. I talked to him about it after senior night. And he said it was a celebration and that's going to be going to get King with the blocking foul. I will say Central has traveled well tonight, and they are right in front of our broadcast setup. And our director is pretty vocal himself as Brown misses the first free throw. T.J. Brown shooting free throws here for Jonesboro. Brown's been pretty good as a basketball player, but is an even better football player. Was one of the best players in 6A this past season. As Stewart taking it himself, he'll draw some contact. Well, this game is a little different than the girls' game.
Just a little.
I think the first half was already finished by this time, and probably the third quarter was midway through. This game has been a lot, I want to say slower. It's not really that slow. It doesn't feel like it. It seems like every time down the floor, something exciting happens. It helps that we have such an electric atmosphere at Don Briggs Gymnasium,
and it's a little weird of how electric it is. Like this is like, don't get me wrong, every game is important, but both of these teams have made the playoffs already. They're pretty locked in at their seeding. They're pretty. It feels like a playoff atmosphere, and it's not the playoffs. It's actually the game before it. So it's a little, it's surprising, but it's very welcomed.
Knowlton. And they get past the press. Weaver to the corner. No one home in the deep corner. He was looking for Brown. Couldn't get it to him. So it will be Central basketball. Kellen Smith checks in. Brown checks out. Thomas also checks in. King. Hey, someone's going to check off the floor. Yeah, it will be Trey Stewart. So King will throw in. King, Moore, Holman, Blair, and Thomas all on the floor for the Tigers.
I think he can pretty much confirm that the lead will be Central's going into half. It's now just a matter of how much. Currently, it's 20 points, and that is a big lead.
Holman, another three. He made one from that same corner a moment ago. Here's Larry. Looking to drive. Couldn't get the floater. Moore with the rebound, looking to push. He's going to hand it off to Blair. Blair to Thomas inside. Can't finish. As it's going to be Leighton Weaver picking up the foul.
I wish we had a little bit of a tracker because it's been a minute since Jonesboro has had a field goal.
It has certainly been a while. And 14 points this half so far as Thomas is short on the first free throw.
And 14 points for this Jonesboro team is not a lot whatsoever.
Short again, but Holman the offensive rebound.
I kind of wanted you to do it, Luke. I get it, but I kind of wanted you to do it.
He's got something up his sleeve instead. He really thought about pulling up deep from downtown. He'll get it this time. Three on the way. And Holman looking to jam it. Couldn't really get the rebound, though. Smith to the corner. It's Johnson, a three on the way. He got it. DJ Johnson with the triple in the corner.
And they needed that shot to go in, man. They need something to go into half with, and that just might be it.
Moore to King in the corner.
Yes, sir.
Second triple. He won't get it. Thomas fighting for the rebound. He threw it off of Knowlton. Obviously, it was after the whistle. The student section was not happy about that, but Knowlton went flying into the stands. And I will say this arena setup is a little strange. If you look at the backboard, none of the baskets are being supported by the ceiling. They're all on the ground. That's something you don't hardly see except in your backyard anymore. And of course, on the left side of us, that sideline or that baseline where the cheerleaders sit is so close to where the players are playing. So that's where Knowlton was. And he was certainly feeling it after he collided with those early steps. So we're going to have halftime here. 34-17 is your score as your Little Rock Central Tigers have the early lead over the top team in the 6A Central. Do not go anywhere. We have more basketball action here on the Tigers Sports Network.
Let them experience passions through extracurriculars. Let them experience teamwork, discipline, and resilience through sports. Let them experience leadership and service to community. Let them experience on-the-job training through internships and job shadowing. Let them experience the excitement of performing through drama and dance. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart. Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart. Let them experience captivating research opportunities. Let them experience more hands-on opportunities with new technology. Let them experience cutting-edge career pathways. Let them experience creativity and expression through the arts. Let them experience more opportunities to innovate and compete regionally and nationally. More opportunities for kids. It's what sets Little Rock School District apart.
And welcome back to the Tiger Sports Network, presented by Natural State Sports. I'm Chris Gay, joined by Coach Marlon Williams. Coach, congratulations on the win, the final regular season game of the year. And you guys had a fantastic first half, 54 points, running clock in the second half. Obviously, this Jonesboro team played a lot better than they did at your house about a month ago, but you guys were able to weather the storm and really had a huge game.
Yeah, appreciate you having us on. Yeah, Jonesboro did well. They played a lot better than they did at Central. We kind of expected that, but the best part about it, we did too. So I'm proud of our players, the way we came out, especially on offensive end. The ball was moving really well. We shooting the ball with confidence, and that's something we want to take into the state tournament with us.
Now, Will and I were talking about this before the game. This Jonesboro team, I think they've been eliminated from playoff contention, but they haven't? Okay, so I was wrong about that. So they obviously had something to prove, and they were playing for something. That's typically a pretty dangerous team.
Yeah, they'll play the 3 seed from the West in the tournament. So I think it's going to be Northside. I'm not quite for sure, so don't quote me on that. But, you know, so they trying to, you know, like us trying to ramp up and get ready for the state tournament. And, you know, when you're coming out to Central, you know, they've been through the gauntlet just like we have, so anything can happen in the playoffs.
Now you guys, again, the shooting from your two-star senior forwards, Klein Wilson and Taylor Day Davis, was on full display early. And what allowed them to get so comfortable in that game, especially along the perimeter?
Man, these young ladies have got so much good experience over the years, and so, you know, they just kind of give our team that confidence. They came out and played with a lot of swagger, a lot of confidence, and that ball was moving really well. They do a good job sharing the ball, and they do a good job taking really good quality shots, whether they three-pointers or something mid-range or to the basket. So Kai and Taylor are definitely 4-level scorers, really, because they can draw fouls as well and shoot well at the free throw line. So I'm proud of everybody who played and got out there and represented. So, I mean, if we can keep that energy going in the state tournament, I like our chances.
Like you said, keep the energy going in for playoffs. But for a lot of I would say you have a lot of younger players on your team. You really don't. These are all players that have a lot of experience. How special is that for you to have on this team, that you know this team kind of already has the experience and the championship pedigree?
Yeah, that's a big deal. That helps us out a lot. And you know, that's why we do have the confidence that we have. since I've been here in 5 years, it's not, I mean, we played every type of game you could possibly play. We done played a lot of different teams. We done played a lot of good competition. So, you know, it's the byproduct of all that good experience that we have. So I'm excited about, you know, our chances in the state tournament. Like I said, we still got some things we need to polish up before Friday. We got a week off to really prepare and get ready. And looking forward to it, looking forward to the challenge, because it's going to be one.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. And we have Kai Wilson here with you. We'll talk with her for a second as well. Kai, congratulations on the win, and congrats on a big game. And
thank you.
Obviously, you're a reigning champ for the with the Central squad, and last regular season game. Well, as a senior, this was your last regular season game as a member of the Tigers. How does it feel now that your regular season career is finished?
I was getting a little emotional before the game because it was like, dang, these 3 years went by fast. But I'm excited. We just been through a lot this season, and it was a good season, and we just ready for the postseason push in the playoffs.
Yeah, like you said, the playoffs, of course, you're already got a championship under your belt, but I bet you want one more championship before your career is said and done. But what's your mindset heading into the final postseason of your high school career?
I mean, just go out there every game, play hard, play with confidence, and just do what we do for real. You know, it's the last one. It got to be the best one.
Now, we hope to talk to you again in the postseason, presumably after you guys come away and come home with a ring. But what is next for you after your high school career? What's next in your basketball career?
Actually, I'm going to commit to Three Rivers. So I'm going to go there with Coach Wiggs and just go out there and ball out on the next level.
Well, Kai, thank you for joining me. Congratulations on the win, and good luck in the playoffs.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that was Kai Wilson and Coach Marlon Williams after their big win against Jonesboro. Stay tuned for the boys' game, which will be back underway in just under 3 minutes on the Tiger Sports Network. It is the second half of action here on the Tiger Sports Network, presented by Natural State Sports. The two teams who have all of the state championships since 2020 are on this court right now. Central, the reigning 6A state champs, and won in 2020. And then Jonesboro with the three-peat 2021, 2022, and 2023. And will the Tigers on top early, 34-17 as we enter the third quarter of play. And this Central team has been motivated. They're hyped up. And this is some exciting basketball when they are playing this way.
Yeah, this is exciting, but you have to understand this Jonesboro team is on the top for a reason. You cannot let go. I mean, you have to keep the foot on the gas, right? You have to continue to play the way you've been playing. You have to continue playing hard defense because Jonesboro hasn't been hitting a lot of shots, so you need to continue to try and slow that down.
It's going to be a foul early on. I think they're going to give it to Clay Blair. That will be his second. Larry will throw in. Smith cutting to the basket. I could have told you that was about to happen. So first points of the half are from Jonesboro. Hurricane starting the half with a press as Stewart is going to hand it off to Blair.
And that's something that Central has gotten much better at, is beating the press. They struggled very heavily against the press at the beginning of the year as Clay Blair is fouled on the act of shooting. But they struggled very, very hard at the beginning of the year with trying to break presses. As of the past few weeks, they've done a much better job at getting through, giving it to the right people, and those right people you can kind of look at as Luke Moore, Clay Blair. I mean, they've been able to figure out if you slow down, allow the press to come to you, you'll find a way to get past that press, and they've done a very good job at it.
1 of 2 from the line for the junior. Here's Larry up top, has yet to score tonight. But knowing what this Northwestern State commit can do, I'm sure that won't happen much, or won't be the case for much longer. It's Smith up top. Here's Baltz. Inside to Johnson, who has 7 points, and back outside to Smith. Working on King, gets it to Larry. Johnson, 7 on the shot clock. He'll take the 3. A long miss on his first 3-point shot of the half. Had 2 in the first half.
And Central's trying to force the issue, basically. Trying to make Jonesboro uncomfortable in their decision making. And so far they're doing a very good job at it.
Blair to Moore. He was cut off. Attacking baseline. Larry will step out of bounds as looked like he had the steal there as Adam Rutherford checking into the ball game. He started the game at point guard, and now he'll come in for Baltz. Knowlton, who's a regular starter for this team, did not start tonight, but he did start the second half. Blair's got to get it in. He gets it to Thomas. It was kind of behind his head a little bit. Moore up top. We've seen him hit plenty of shots from way downtown. He's going to take another one. Got it! Luke Moore with the triple.
Luke Moore, that is his 3rd of the night. That's 12 points for him.
Smith will pull back. King on him, looking to drive, and Smith got the layup to go.
C.J. King was very close to blocking that, and C.J. King is not a tall player.
Moore, guarded by Smith. Hands it off to Blair. Blair, he'll draw the contact from Smith. This game has been a lot of fouls called this game on both sides, and either side will tell you one way. Will say that it's favored the other. But regardless, a lot of fouls called. Kind of slowed the game down at times. Moore against Larry. Jab step 3 in the corner. That one's long. It's King that gets the offensive rebound. Blair up top.
He thought about it.
Blair to Thomas. Thomas looking to drive and finish it.
Yes, sir.
One. Day Thomas with the bucket, and one more coming up.
And I do want to commend Clay Blair Jr. as well. His decision-making has been immaculate this game. You know, every once in a while we see him maybe put up a shot that isn't really needed, but he understands it's not about the points in this for himself. It's about the collective. It's about getting the best shot possible, because this Jonesboro defense is going to continue to run at them with everything they have.
Thomas at the free throw line. Doesn't convert the and one. Larry with the rebound. 19-point Central lead.
You need to continue to build on that 19-point lead. You cannot be complacent.
Larry up top. It's Knowlton, guarded by King. Johnson at the free throw line. Moore on him. He's going to take the contested jumper off the front of the rim. No good.
And you can see that Luke Moore is kind of being careful with how he plays while also playing very aggressively. He is trying to play towards the whistle, not away from it.
Stewart with the size advantage
Yes,
on
sir.
Weaver, and got it to go inside. Trey Stewart, 8 points.
And if you could give an MVP to the second half of the year, outside of Luke Moore, I'm giving it to Trey Stewart. He's been absolutely incredible.
Johnson up top. Larry now guarded by Blair. He'll take the three, doesn't take a ton of those, and he misses. Rutherford chases the rebound. Weaver, three, got it. Now that's a guy that takes a lot of three-pointers, and Coach Whitt's going to call the timeout here. 4:27 left to play in the third quarter. Central, the 42-24 lead. And Jonesboro's definitely picked up their play in this quarter.
Just a little bit, but, I mean, this is still a very large lead. Now, I'm not saying it is not possible, because crazier things have happened, right? But they need to basically play perfect basketball from here on out. They need to be able to find the right shots. You were talking about that three off the wing. He doesn't shoot a lot of those. That's not the shot you want if you want to make a comeback, right? You need to be able to find the spot. And you'll notice how much Central is trying to slow down Jonesboro's pushes, right? They're being a little bit hesitant on their decision-making, and it's forcing them deep into the shot clock and forcing them to put up shots that they don't want to put up.
Jacob Marshall just checked into the ball game for the Tigers. Here's Moore. Fast break opportunity, and Blair with the bucket. Nice setup from the senior Luke Moore.
9 points for Clay Blair now.
Johnson at the free throw line. Knowlton kicks to the corner. It's Rutherford, three on the way. No good. And it ended up in the hands of Knowlton. Shot does not count. There is a foul on the floor. It's on the Tigers. It's Day Thomas. That will be his third personal foul. So not a good sign for the Tigers, as Gavin Holman will check in for his fellow sophomore. And right away, Holman commits the foul. So that's number 2 for the sophomore. Larry throws in to Johnson. Back to Larry. Gets right past him, and Blair commits the foul. Student section's going to love that play. Trey Hope at the scorer's table, set to come in. That's her third foul on Blair, so multiple Tiger starters in foul trouble. Hope will replace the junior.
Am I reading that right? Kellen Smith has 4 fouls. I believe that's right.
So keep an eye. Well, he's not on the floor.
He's not on the floor, and he won't be for a minute.
Stewart in the corner. Hope gets a man to fly by. Moore swinging. Marshall looking to drive. Kick out. Holman, 3. Won't get it to fall. And Marshall's going to pick up the foul now. Jacob Marshall picking up his third personal foul. So all of a sudden, 3 key playmakers for the Tigers are in foul trouble. And with 3:37 left to play in the quarter, the Hurricane are in the bonus, and B.J. Knowlton's going to shoot some free throws here. Recently picked up an offer from Arkansas State Newport, and he knocks down the first free throw. Marion Taylor checking into the ball game. Rutherford, no, not Rutherford. DJ Johnson will check out. Second free throw up and good for the junior guard. Luke Moore. Central able to break the press here. Marshall up top, guarded by Knowlton. Marshall, physical, shot won't count. What a finish though by Jacob Marshall. Not really known as much of a driver, more of a shooter. Really the best shooter on this team. He'll throw in now. Gets it to Moore. Moore posting up Rutherford. And can't get the shot to fall. Taylor with the rebound.
Trying to draw a foul there, just couldn't get it to be called. It's good defense by Jonesboro.
I think it was still a pretty, and Holman's going to pick up the foul. That's going to be number 3 on Gavin Holman. Oh my goodness, everybody's just picking up fouls all of a sudden. And of course, the Hurricane, they're in foul trouble. Central is really close. Jonesboro's committed 4 team fouls, so they're really close to getting into the bonus, but Knowlton, 2 of 2 from the free throw line last time out. 3 of 3 in the third quarter so far. Four of 4 on the last 2 trips. Stewart matched up with a fellow all-conference football player in Marion Taylor. Stewart looking to drive. Kicks it to Moore, guarded by Rutherford. He's got the size advantage, goes right at him. Shot will not count. But
that
Rutherford.
Will be 5 fouls on.
Oh, yeah, 5 team fouls. Okay, so that was just the second on Adam Rutherford, but Moore is going to shoot some free throws here.
I'm just going to be the one to say it. 10 fouls total feels a little incredible, like unreal, right?
In this quarter,
In this corner alone.
Well, actually, it's 11 because Central's technically committed 6. They just stop adding it to the board once it hits 5.
Right, yeah.
A little different in college where they actually have to keep adding when you get into the double bonus, but Moore going to shoot.
That's not normal.
No, not normal at all. Of course, he hasn't really been to the free throw line that much today. I believe just his second trip today. At the second half. Larry to Jordan. Larry looking to drive, and he will draw contact. He didn't finish the layup. Who are they going to get with? I think it might be on Luke Moore. Yeah, that will be his second. So compared to his teammates, he's not really in foul trouble. On the other side of the court, as Larry misses his first free throw, we have a Jonesboro Hurricane mascot sighting.
Right back out the door.
He left the court. If you ever get to see him back on the camera, he does not look like a Hurricane. I remember seeing that at some point, at the football game with Joe T. Robinson with the Robinson Sports Network, as misses both free throws. It did look like an ice cream cone. That foul was drawn by Knowlton. That's going to be another foul on the Tigers. That has been 12 fouls. No, 13 fouls this quarter alone, as Stewart picks up his third. That is now 4 players for the Tigers with 3 fouls, as Knowlton knocked down that first free throw. Day Thomas will check back in. Holman will check out.
If you're Central, yes, this is a very weirdly officiated game, but you need to just stay within yourself. Honestly, you need to play towards the whistle, right? You need to play towards how the ref is calling. Whether you agree with how they're calling or not, you have to play towards that.
Stewart will bring the ball up now for the Tigers. How often do you have your star football player who plays center bring the ball up the floor? Of course, he's matched up against another great football player in T.J. Brown. Hope. Going to have a foul by T.J. Brown. And the Tigers going to shoot some free throws here. It's going to be Trey Stewart. Now, they were being very physical.
I don't even know if you can call this kind of home cooking at all anymore. This is just calling everything that is contact. It's very odd.
There's 2:09, and this quarter has been going on for a while now, probably 30 minutes. First free throw up and good by the by the sophomore. Let's see what the live chat has to say. Yeah, Mia, I know I don't. One of two at the line. And we're going to have a timeout by Jonesboro. 2:04 remaining in the third quarter. Your Tigers remain on top by double digits, leading by 15. And Will, I think you said this perfectly. Every call, or every bit of contact is apparently a foul in this game. So what do you do to combat that? You play to the whistle. You play through contact. You try to generate contact, to draw fouls yourself, even though you're playing with maybe three of your own.
Yeah, because even if, I mean, yes, you can disagree with how they're calling against you, but you now know that they're calling that for you as well. So you need to play towards contact. You need to kind of force the issue, try and get the ball up in the air while making contact. And more than likely, you're going to get it on your own. And I have noticed Luke Moore has not taken a seat all game.
Well, I don't know how many minutes he plays, but there's probably not a lot of games where he's not playing any less than 30.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, in a 32-minute game, he's going to play the vast majority of minutes. The lone senior on this roster, your star point guard, your UCA commit. Yeah, he's going to get some time.
And you see Central sticking to this zone defense, not trying to force any contact if possible.
Baltz. Moore, he got a shot to the face. He's still on the ground. There's going to be a foul by C.J. Larry. Moore slow to get up. Coach Lewis
had to make sure Luke Moore was okay.
Yeah, he definitely did not want to lose his playmaker.
And he said, I could read Luke Moore's lips. He said, I'm good. He's all right. Just took a shot to the face.
And Clay Blair. Luke Moore doesn't want to come out of the ball game. He really does not want to come out of the ball game. They're going to take him out right now. Clay Blair is going to come in.
I believe the official is trying to force the issue.
Yeah, he was trying to get him out. One of the trainers is going to take a look at Moore. And he really did not want to come out of the ball game, and I don't blame him. With 1:35 to play in the third quarter, you're up by 16, but this you're in no way ahead. You're not away. This is not a blowout. It doesn't feel like it. Yeah, they're down 16, but
it's also Jonesboro.
It's Jonesboro. They can come back. It's not a team that's towards the bottom of the standings, as Luke Moore is back at the scorers table, so good to see that. So that's probably going to be his one.
Yeah, as I was saying,
rest.
I'll take blame for that one.
Yeah, he'll probably, that's probably the one time he'll take a seat this game. Rutherford kicking to the corner. It's Knowlton 3. That one's short. Rebound by Marshall.
And the three-pointers have not been falling for Jonesboro whatsoever. I think we've seen 2 this entire game.
Thomas looking to drive.
Wow.
Steps through, couldn't finish.
Honestly,
Larry with
great
the
play
rebound.
by Dede Thomas. Stepped through, avoided the contact.
And Larry can't finish himself. Marshall looking to push. He's cut off by Jordan, and we're going to have a timeout by Coach Lewis. It's a very good timeout as Marshall really had nowhere to go that far corner. So 42.3 left to play in the third quarter. 46-30 is still your score. And Will, I mean, this game has come to a bit of a lull.
Yeah.
Really the last couple quarters. But this Central team is fighting through all of the adversity here.
Yeah, and it's a testament to both the team, but also Coach Lewis, right? This is a very war-tested team, and we talked a little bit about it on Tuesday at Central against Southwest. These guys, I mean, this is a different team than we saw at the beginning of conference play at the beginning of the year, right? They have played absolutely incredible basketball over the past couple weeks. And I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, realizing we're not indestructible when it comes to injuries, so we need to play our hearts out at all times.
Moore and one. Luke Moore. Don't flex too hard. They'll probably give you with the T. Now he's got a free throw coming up. It's going to be a foul on DJ Johnson. You know, you were just talking about Coach Lewis and how he's done so far this season. And, of course, he's a rookie head coach after being an assistant on Central's staff last season, helping that team reach the title and win its first championship since 2020. He was named the head coach this summer. And even though it was a rough start to conference play, they now have a winning 6-5 record, and I would say this: I think he might be my early pick for Coach of the Year.
Wow.
As Baltz gets the and one. What a finish! But Coach Lewis, what he's done this year, starting off poorly, just to say that I'm going to be blunt about it. They started off pretty poorly.
31 with 4 fouls. Day-Day Thomas.
That's going to be Day-Day Thomas. That's not good. He's going to stay in the ball game for the final 14 seconds. Balt's going to convert the and one, but the way that he's been able to get this team back on track despite multiple injuries, illness, inconsistency, I think is something that you cannot ignore. You can't not talk about, as Weaver's going to commit the foul there. That's actually a pretty smart foul, and I think that's something that Coach Swift told Weaver to do, because Day-Day Thomas has struggled at the line so far tonight. Of course, it's a gamble. You're just assuming he misses both or one free throw. Makes the first one. Baltz will come back into the ball game. TJ Brown checks out. Second one up and no good. 11 seconds left in the quarter. Larry has it. Time for one more possession. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Screen for Baltz. Baltz is a deep triple. Won't get it to go. Moore grabs the rebound. So after 3 quarters of play, your score is 50-33. Central still on top. We will be back with more Tigers basketball action after no break. Excuse me. We don't usually do breaks. I'm just accustomed to that. Again, 50-33 is your score in this regular season finale against 2 top 6A Central squads. Your Little Rock Central Tigers, who have been scraping and clawing to get back on top of the conference standings. And of course, I don't have them in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they're number 4 in the 6A Central, just behind, obviously, Jonesboro at number 1. North Little Rock's up there somewhere. I think they're 3.
I believe it's Bryan.
And then Bryan at 2. So Central has definitely done some hard work to get to this point. Again, 6-5 in conference play. I don't think they've had a winning record in conference play in a month. And just confirm that. They were 3-2 in conference play after beating Little Rock Southwest at Southwest. Then they went back down to 500 in conference play after their loss to Jonesboro at home. And like I said, first time with a winning record, and only the second time with a winning record in conference play. And looking to hold on to that. Luke Moore having a little laugh with the official.
If you're Central, you need to just stay within yourself. Do not let anything go to waste. Not a single possession, not a single dribble.
Moore. Zone defense by the Hurricane.
And you're going to see a lot of time wasting from Central here.
Still 20 seconds on the shot clock. Holman went flying to the floor. Blair pointed at him, and the official said, oh, you're right, that was a foul, so it's going to be a foul. I don't know who they gave it to. That's actually going to be on number 12, Luke Baltz. That's his 4th personal. Of course, Baltz only has 4 points in the ball game, but that's one of the Canes in foul trouble here. Moore guarded by Jordan. Blair. Blair step back 3 on the way. That one's short. King with the rebound. King taking it himself. Can't finish though. DJ Johnson with the rebound.
Look, I know CJ King did not finish that play, but my goodness, is his hustle ever better than it has been all year.
Johnson inside to Knowlton. Nice setup for the junior.
Again, if you're Central, you need to just respond to every possession that Jonesboro puts up. You can't waste one.
Blair looking to drive. Blocked by Baltz. Knowlton, 1-on-2 fast break, now 1-on-1. It's swatted by Holman.
And he still gets the rebound.
Holman looking to take it himself, and he'll draw some contact. It's Jaquez Jordan picking up the foul. What an athletic play by Gavin Holman.
What an athletic play by probably the most athletic player on this Central squad, man.
First foul of the ball game for Jaquez Jordan. King up top at the Jonesboro logo. And Will, you told me about this. I didn't know this, and I don't think anybody else did too. For that Jonesboro logo, obviously you see the red squares kind of going off to the sides into a V. Obviously there's no letter V in Jonesboro or Hurricane. So what, as Moore can't finish inside, what do those red squares mean?
So that would actually be the hurricane warning symbols, flags that you would show in a place such as Florida, as Luke Moore scores on the layup on the fast break, puts it back up to a 17-point lead, but that is hurricane warning flags, and that you'll see that in a place like Florida or New Orleans or anywhere that is susceptible to hurricanes. And honestly, it's also strong storms as well. Very strong storms around ocean fronts and things like that. So I learned that actually just a couple years ago.
And that one's going to be Jonesboro basketball.
I look down at Coach Shelby Lewis, and he's just pointing, smiling. I'm not sure he totally agrees.
Knowlton checks out. Kellen Smith comes back into the ball game. He is playing with 4 fouls. Looking to drive, got his own miss, and put it back up and in.
Still a 15-point game, but again, you need to respond. Keep your lead. Keep a cushion. Keep your 15-point lead. Keep it right around there. If it turns to 14, sure. If it turns to 17, sure. But 15 needs to kind of be your median.
Stewart up top looking for more. Miscommunication. Johnson looking to go. Cut off by King. 3 by Baltz won't be attempted, but he steps through, can't finish. Back to Moore. Moore looking to go. Draws the contact.
He knows. That's something we've talked about with Luke Moore. He knows how to draw contact. So he knows in this case, they're calling any contact play a foul. So he's going right at the defense, going directly around, right? Going around defenders in order to avoid that charging call, and gets the call there.
CJ Larry just picked up his 4th personal, and Jonesboro has committed 14 fouls in this quarter. Guess how many Central has attempted? 0. We have not really seen that much today. And frankly, of all the warning flags that are on this court, that's the biggest, the fact that Central. Yeah, you like that?
That was nice. That was
good. That was good. That's one that Jonesboro does not want to see, the fact that the foul advantage is going to the Tigers.
And I think you're going to see Central go after that 5th foul. I think you're going to see them be very aggressive. They don't have any fouls yet, as we were talking about. So that you're going to see them try and attack and try and force the issue.
Moore slowly bring it up the floor. Screen from Holman. Now Moore has Weaver on him. Looking to go. Blair back to Moore. Larry has 4 fouls. Keep that in mind. Holman got a man up in the air inside, and it's going to be a Jonesboro steal.
That was a good recovery by Baltz there.
Smith. Blair just picked up his 4th personal. So again, that's not a good sign. Blair and Thomas both have 4 personals. Of course, Thomas not on the floor. Trey Stewart is playing that center position. Of course, he's in foul trouble himself with 3. Weaver gets a screen from Johnson.
Wow.
And he lost it.
Trey Stewart stripped that. This is the most important 4 minutes of this game.
Moore. That was off, I think, King's foot, and will be Hurricane basketball. It's Larry up ahead. Oh, and he took a hard fall, but he is right back up. That could have been bad, and I think, let's see who they give that one to. It's going to be on Trey Stewart. So just like that, 2 team fouls by Central, and now 4 personal fouls by Trey Stewart. .343 left to play in this ball game. Not over yet, knowing what Jonesboro can do. They can get back into this ball game. That first free throw won't fall. Knowlton and Brown check back into the ball game. Baltz and Weaver check out. And Day Thomas checks back in. Gavin Holman will check out.
And I think what you're going to see is you're going to see more Day Thomas in the paint here and kind of leave Trey Stewart out towards the 3-point line, solely based on the fact that Trey Stewart is a little bit more potent on offense. So you kind of want to allow Day Thomas, if anybody's going to foul out, you kind of want it to be Day Thomas, even though that loses you a very good rebounder and defender. And there's the 5th foul. That's a big deal for Central.
Kellen Smith just picked up his 5th and final foul, so his night is over. He had 10 points, one of 2 players on this Jonesboro team in double figures, as Jaquez Jordan will check into the ball game. Clay Blair's going to shoot some free throws here.
And I love the idea that not a single time on any of these free throws has Coach Shelby Lewis told anybody to line up on to rebound.
Well, go ahead and get your defense set up.
You have to trust your players to make their shots just like that. And you just go ahead and set up on defense because you know this Jonesboro team likes to run. So putting as much emphasis on the full court than the half court is a very big deal and a very good decision out of Shelby Lewis.
That's a good point, as Blair enters double digits now with 11. Step through Knowlton, 3 in the corner. That one's long. 3s have not been falling for this Jonesboro team. And I think they're going to give that foul to Trey Stewart. That is his final foul. His night is over. So Trey Stewart has fouled out. He's got to come out of the ball game. Jacob Marshall will come in.
Which honestly, now yes, losing Trey Stewart is a very big deal, especially with how well he's played tonight. But that's a very good substitution. That's a very good shooter. That's a very, very good shooter you're putting in. And Trey Stewart doesn't really have that shooting ability. That's not what he's on the court for. So you put Jacob Marshall in, that opens up a whole new world for offense.
Adam Rutherford checks into the ball game. CJ Larry checks out. I know his night is not over, considering he does have 4 fouls in what is his final regular season game as a Hurricane, but he'll probably play more offense than defense the final 3:12 of this ball game.
And I do want to say, Coach Swift down there, I think, is saying attack 31. Day Thomas does have 4 fouls.
Risky pass. Blair will pull back. Of course, Blair's also playing with 4. Working on Jordan, and Brown's going to pick up the personal.
Now, I will say, that's a very, honestly, I like that decision. Day Thomas was wide open in the paint, but but Clay Blair knew the time on the clock and allowed it to tick down as much as possible and then went after it himself.
First free throw up and good for the junior. He's got 12. TJ Brown checks out. Baltz checks back in, so I was wrong, Larry. Might have actually had some blood on his shorts. There's something. They're taking a look at it as that free throw is no good. Johnson with the rebound. Knowlton, cutter is Baltz. Thomas has to be careful. That foul's going to be on Jacob Marshall. It looked like he had all ball. The ref saw otherwise, and that's going to be 4 personals on Jacob Marshall. Me, oh my. Baltz at the free throw line. Misses the first. Myrion Taylor checks in. He hadn't really played much in the second half. DJ Johnson set to check out. Now wait a second. Okay, I think maybe Taylor's coming in for Baltz. Not Johnson, so Johnson will stay in the game. I don't understand. Baltz makes a free throw. Okay, it was Baltz. All right, so he was coming in for the shooter. That's why he had to go right back to the scorer's table.
I will admit, this has been the slowest, 2 minutes of my life.
Moore with Rutherford on him. Moore to Marshall. Cross court to King. With Knowlton on him. He'll take the screen, looking to drive, spinning. And Taylor clearly committed the foul there, a push in the back. That, frankly, I think that should have been an intentional foul. That was not a basketball play. That'll be his second personal. And Thomas has a couple free throws coming up. Of course, that was just from my angle. We have pretty good seats right here at Don Riggs Gymnasium. Student section letting him hear it, but they're not as into the ball game as they were. Of course, it's also thinned out a little bit. Of course, down 56, or excuse me, now 57 to 40. It's not typically, your student section is not going to be fired up, as that timeout is going to be taken by Coach Swift. Again, 57-40 is your score. The Tigers looking to even up the season series against the Jonesboro Hurricane here in Jonesboro. And Will, obviously this game is getting pretty close as far as getting close to the end. Obviously still 17-point lead. That's kind of what it's been for a while now, and especially since this game is really slow, what does Coach Lewis need to tell his squad to keep them kind of fired up and energetic and really into this ball game. And importantly, to not foul.
Honestly, I think it's just that. I think a lot of the energy has been kind of sucked out of the crowd. First of all, again, because of that 17-point deficit for Jonesboro. But, you know, you've been trying to go against the whistle all night. That's going to take a lot out of you. You're getting upset at weird calls, getting annoyed at weird calls, right? So if you're Coach W. Lewis, you just have to say you got 2 minutes. You got less than 2.5 minutes to keep a 17-point lead. That's not difficult to do. You just need to either play very good defense, and if they score, you need to respond. But do not shoot the ball within the first 5 seconds. You want to take your time. You want to force them into making a decision on defense as well, which they've done very good at offense.
Larry, guarded by King. That's going. Oh, King's going to pick up the foul there. That's going to be, I think, the third on CJ King. So I thought he actually had more, but CJ Larry set to shoot some free throws here. First one's up and good for the senior. TJ Brown checks out, or excuse me, checks in. Baltz checks out. Of course, Baltz has been playing with 4 fouls, only really playing on the offensive side of the ball. Trey Hope's also going to come into the ball game. Day Thomas checks out. Interesting substitution. Your starting center's playing with just 4 fouls. You don't have a backup center. Trey Stewart's already fouled out. And you sub him out for this offensive possession. And you know, I think that's pretty interesting.
Honestly, I get it, though. Trey Hope has a very high motor, a very strong motor. But you can also just trust in Luke Moore for rebounds, right? Luke Moore is a rebound hunter. It's something that's very underrated about how he plays, right? So you kind of hope. Ooh, what a.
Oh, and they're going to say Blair traveled as Thomas checks back in. Hope comes out. Unfortunate there. Marshall had the easy layup, which probably would have been the ultimate dagger as the team's up 15. It would have brought it back to a 17-point lead at least.
It's probably the most important possession of Jonesboro's game.
Knowlton looking to drive, and went right to Thomas.
Luke Moore poked that from behind. That is all Luke Moore.
Blair. Double team on him, and Knowlton's going to pick up the foul.
I'm not one to say let them play, but at this point, let them play. You know, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of fouls. I don't know. It's just there have been fouls that have not been fouls on both sides. You can't even really say it's been home cooking anymore because both sides are getting very bad calls. I'll say it like that's. And I think you could probably agree with that, Chris. There have been very bad calls on both sides. And I mean, what do you do if you're either one of these teams? You just kind of sit there and deal with it, I guess.
14 points for Blair as Baltz will kick out to Larry. Back to Baltz. He didn't receive that pass cleanly. Leads to a miss.
Now
Blair.
They'll take their time. And Clay Blair, yep.
Yep, just try to dribble this one out. Marshall going to step through, gives it back to Blair. Coach Lewis telling them to just settle down. And he stepped out of bounds. Jonesboro basketball, that's unfortunate. 17-point lead still with 58.2 remaining in the ball game. And it looks like Jonesboro, they're going to make a substitution. Number 32, Jalen Daniels, will check into the game for the first time. The 6'5" forward making, of course, his first appearance. Rutherford checks back in.
And Jonesboro's using a lot of time right now, man.
Knowlton looking to drive, just do not foul. He finishes. We get it into Marshall.
And the clock will continue to go. It's not going to slow down.
Moore trying to call a timeout, and great job. That was all Luke Moore, who had tripped, fallen, diving on the basketball, immediately was scrambling to call a timeout, and they finally give it to him. Of course, there are 2 remaining for the Tigers, and game's not over, but
I mean, people are filing out.
Yep, Jonesboro crowd not happy to seeing what their team has, with how their team has played on senior night, and the writing is on the wall here at Don Briggs Hurricane Gymnasium. King will get it into Blair. Blair will get past half court. Knowlton all over him. And he'll foul now, so Blair, who's been living at the foul line in this quarter, is going to go back for 2 more. A little off your screen. Nothing's really happening, but the Jonesboro student section's not really liking some of the Tiger players right now. Of course, that Jonesboro student section has been talking
ruthless
all night long. As
I think that's the dagger right there. Officially,
the official dagger. Just 20 seconds left to play, and this one's all over. King's going to kick to the corner, a 3 on the way, no good. That was Malcolm Marshall missing the triple, and all Central has to do is dribble it out. Of course, they got to get it across half court, and that will do it. Down goes number 1. Your Little Rock Central Tigers walk away with the 61-44 win in enemy territory. They extend their conference record to 7-5. They are 15-14 overall. Jonesboro is handed their 2nd loss of conference season. They are 25-4 overall. And of course, both of these teams still locked of the playoffs.
And Day-Day Thomas and Gavin Holman speaking, and CJ King too.
That student section was active all night long, but the Tigers still come away with the win in enemy territory, battle all the adversity. And we'll have a conversation with Coach Lewis here in just a second. He'll probably have his senior point guard coming onto the floor as well, or excuse me, coming up to talk to us as well. But in the last game of the regular season for both of these teams, and Central ends it in a win. They extend their winning streak to 4 to close out the regular season. Of course, Jonesboro, who kind of had some really close games last few games, was on a 3-game winning streak, and again handed a loss on senior night. Definitely not something a team likes to have done. We're going to have a conversation with Coach Lewis right now, and of course his star point guard Luke Moore. Coach Lewis, congratulations on the win.
Yeah.
A win in enemy territory, a win against the #1 team in the conference, and you guys right away were just on top early.
Yeah, you know, look, I think you guys know probably as good as I do. You know, you guys have watched us at the beginning of conference and just how we've grown, and we've just been right there for a long time. And, man, I keep saying it, we're just playing our best basketball. And it's got a lot to do with this guy and how he's leading these guys. I said it last week. These guys are playing with a ton of confidence. And, you know, again, you guys have been there, man. We've been right there. We've been in every game. We've put together some really good quarters. But we're at a point right now where we're putting together 4 quarters at a time. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to see these guys grow. I mean, these guys are growing up right in front of your eyes. And, you know, sometimes you need all 30 games to try to figure it all out. And you know, these guys are just playing at a high level, man. And I want to thank you guys for being here through this experience. You guys have been awesome for us and for our fans and our, you know, parents who aren't able to be here. You guys have been you guys have done a fantastic job. So I really thank you guys for doing all this. But like I said, it ain't me. It's these guys. This team is a player-led team, and it's led by this guy. And so I'm not taking any credit for what's going on here. Coaches lose games, and I've lost a lot of them, and players win them, and he did that tonight for us.
Well, again, I mean, you guys, I know, like you said, players win games, but you guys have been on a 4-game winning streak now to close out the season. Of course, last regular season game of the year in your first year as a head coach with this program. You only had one senior, not like Coach Williams. He had 7 this year.
Yeah, for sure.
But you still have one senior that he just played his final regular season game. Just talk about what he's meant. Yeah,
you know, again, you know, we both came to Central at the same time. And so I've watched him grow, you know, as a ninth grader. And even as a ninth grader, I always thought, you know, this kid, he was a little scrawny kid, not very athletic yet, real skinny. And I thought, man, but he had it right here, right between the ears. And I always thought, man, once his body starts to catch up with his mind, he's going to be special. And he's the total package. He did a great job leading our guys tonight. And not just him, all of our guys played extremely well. But, man, I'm so proud of him, what he's meant to this program. And, you know, I said it after senior night, we still got a lot of basketball to play. And I think they proved that tonight for sure.
Well, there was a lot of fouling in that second half.
For sure.
It was definitely a slower game, but and I know that can be frustrating, especially you lose Trey Stewart and Clay Blair and Thomas are in foul trouble. What do you tell your team in a situation like that? Because I could tell you were telling your team to calm down, and they still did a pretty good job weathering the storm.
Hey, look, man, we've been in hostile environments all year. That's why we travel everywhere, and you know, every night. It doesn't matter where we go. We got hecklers. I mean, you got student sections. They have one of the best student sections in our conference. And it's just block out the noise, win anyway. And it's a motto that we've went on. We talked about all year. And I do a really good job in practice of being a horrible official. And, you know, I don't call fouls. And then I never give him any fouls. I don't give him anything. And I don't give Clay Blair anything either. And that way, when they go into games like this, it's just kind of what they expect. So,
playoffs right around the corner. What do you expect, and what are you telling your team about what's coming up for you guys?
Yeah, you know, just more of the same. You know, these guys are, like I said, these guys are playing at a high level. And you know, one of the things that we talked about and credit Jacob Marshall, we came out of half, and one of the words we've been talking about is playing desperate. And also playing together. And as we walked out, Jacob said, stay desperate and stay together. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to play desperate basketball, and we're going to do it together. And if we do that, we'll be hard to beat.
Well, Coach, congrats on the win. And let's talk with Luke for a second here. Luke, congrats on the win. And this was your final regular season game of your high school career. How are you feeling after the aftermath?
Hey, I'm feeling great. Just this team, you know, we've been through a lot this year, you know, and like Coach said, you know, as long as we play our best basketball, you know, during the end of the season, I'm fine with that.
Now, again, this was a hostile environment you guys had to play through. Like Coach Lewis said, a great student section. And as the team leader, as the point guard of this team, how are you able to keep your cool and also tell your teammates to keep their cool?
Yeah, man. I mean, in practice, it gets hectic too. Like we practice, like what Coach said. Like we practice not getting foul calls. We practice, you know, people talking smack. You know what I'm saying? And we just know how to control it. And we weren't controlling it early in the year. Like, you know, Day, shout out to Day. You know, he got a couple of texts, and he could have got one tonight, but hey, he controlled it tonight, and we needed that.
Now playoffs are coming up, and you guys are riding a 4-game winning streak. As again, the team leader, what are you telling your teammates as you head into the most important part of the season?
Man, just hoop, man. Just keep doing what we've been doing. Keep practicing. Keep stacking days, and we're looking forward to winning on Wednesday.
Well, Luke, congrats on the win. Congrats on a great performance. And how many points did he have tonight? 18. That's what I thought. But great job on tonight and coming away with the win. And this may be important to y'all, may not be, but believe that you guys knocked them down from number 1 to number 2 as Brian is the new number 1.
Yes, sir.
So congrats again on the win, and good luck in the postseason.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, that was Coach Lewis and Luke Moore, the post-game interview. And do want to say, as we welcome Will back here, this is probably this could be the last Central game that we broadcast. Of course, we are not traveling to Springdale. We hope that if both of these teams make it outside or a little farther than the first round, we will be able to go and broadcast maybe at least one game. We're hoping we can be there in Springdale with them, but at the very least, we are still wanting to be a part of this school and this program next season. And we can't do that without some sponsorship help, though.
And I want to say, like, this Central team, Coach Shelby Lewis, Coach Marlon Williams, both teams, they've grew a fan out of me, and that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot coming from somebody like us.
North Little Rock kids, yeah.
Yeah, so they have definitely grown a fan out of me. We have put a lot of work into research and knowing these players, building personal relationships with a lot of them, and it's been an absolute honor to be able to be in this environment. And I will say tonight, I felt like I was in high school again. It felt like, this is probably the best energy that we've had all season.
With the exception of that North Little Rock game.
Other than the North Little Rock game.
It's hard not to get that from them.
But this is one of the most electric environments I've ever been a part of. Jonesboro is always like that. I was here for a Nick Smith and Khalil Ware game against Jonesboro just a few years ago. So this was an absolute insane game. This is an incredible game to end the regular season off, especially, as you were saying, knock off down to number 2 for Jonesboro, and that's a big deal. That is the difference between one team and another, right? So that's a really big deal, man. But I just want to thank Coach Shelby Lewis and Coach Marlon Williams and every player a part of these teams, because they have welcomed us with open arms. And I do genuinely hope we'll be back next year.
Yeah, as well as I do. And before we end it here, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
First time being back in Jonesboro for you, of course, an Arkansas State graduate.
Yeah.
How did it feel being back? Of course, I know you didn't really, obviously, you spent time in this arena, but you really, we got a couple hours here in the great city of Jonesboro. I've enjoyed spending time. And what does it mean to be back?
I missed it, man. I do miss the city. The city is incredible. And Jonesboro as a school as well is very talented in sports. Like, they are absolutely incredible. They are very, very good in basically everything they do. And so being back in Jonesboro has been really cool, like seeing all the old places that you used to, what you could call your old stomping grounds, right?
Yeah.
And being able to do it, being able to be back for the reason I am, in order to, commentate for Central. It's an absolute honor to be back, and it's an absolute honor to be able to do it for, people like Coach Lewis and Luke Moore and Coach Marlon Williams, all of those guys.
Well, and obviously, again, I want to also thank Coach Williams, Coach Lewis, everyone associated with us being a part of this Central team all season, all conference season long. Would have loved to have been here longer. Again, there is a chance that we are in the postseason. Hopefully, we will see you all sometime in March. But again, also want to thank the players and want to especially thank the viewers.
Absolutely.
If we are averaging 0 viewers a game, we're not going to do this. We're not averaging 0 viewers a game. We've had some good turnouts, especially in some of these games. So love the fan audience involvement in the live chat, and just love getting to talk with everybody and getting to commentate for these players who I know a lot of you are parents or family members of these players. So hopefully that, we've done a pretty good job for you guys.
And also, and this will be my last thing, I want to give a huge shout out to Will, our producer as well. And I want to give a shout out to every camera operator that we've had. Tonight specifically it was AJ, so big shout out to AJ.
Yep.
But everybody that's been able to help us, he rode with the team.
That makes sense.
But yeah, shout out to everybody that's been a part of this, and thank you guys so much for having us.
And Will, you want to say anything on the broadcast? I know you're not much of a talker.
He's tired.
But he's tired. He's ready to go home. Oh, well, again, thank you all for tuning in all season long to the Tiger Sports Network presented by Natural State Sports. Until next time, have a great evening, be safe, and go Tigers!